Cass, good to see how you doing. How you been? Hello, up, down, or sideways. Um, for the time being, I would have to say yesterday I told you sideways for the time being, so I'll still go with sideways. The market is quite volatile right now, heavily manipulated, but still going with sideways. It's a little bit up today, but sideways. Commodus, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Tall, good to see you as well. Evening, how you doing? Happy Pisces, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Lena, good to see you as well. How you doing? Lena, I haven't forgotten regarding these screenshots that I have to send you for step by step. I'm doing the screenshots and the PDF to send it to you and share it inside the Telegram group as well, in the CMF Telegram group, just in case anybody else wants to use it as well. But yeah, I've gone by that. So, Joe, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening Miles of CMF. Manny, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening Miles of CMF. Dennis, good to see you as well. How you doing? Hi Miles of CMF. Greetings from hot Las Vegas. What free energy is available 24/7? Leroy, let's go. How you doing? Good to see you as well. The sun is the free energy available 24/7. What's up, brother? And CMF. Billo, good to see you as well. How you doing? Good evening, Miles, and all CMF. Hope everyone had a good day. Let's go, JP. How you doing, brother? How you been? Thanks, Lena. No problem. Anytime. Camel, good to see you as well, brother. How you doing? Kim, good to see you as well. How you doing, Kim? How you been? What's up, Miles? What's up, CMF? Kerry, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Hey, Miles, how you doing? Daniel, good to see you as well. How you doing, Daniel? How you been? So, I'll do a gist of what we're going to go through on tonight's live show, and by that time, everyone's pretty much tuned in for the first part of the live show after the intro and disclaimer. But I'll give you the gist of what we're going to be talking about. What's the topic points of tonight's live show? So, the first news we're going to be going through on tonight's live show is regarding a Deutsches company, which is a telecom company, T-Mobile. T-Mobile is now getting involved in essentially Bitcoin mining, which is quite incredible to see. But they're also partnered with a lot of other crypto projects as well, which will go from tonight's live show. We're also going to be talking about the 300 million users that depend on Tether USDT. Yesterday, I revealed to everyone the stats that essentially not many corporates are using USDT essentially, and well, USDT is not happy about that. Tether has came out and give their perspectives that the corporate sector is in fact using it in some weird way regarding stablecoins. But according to a study test I reviewed yesterday, it's mostly the retail section and small companies that are using USDT. Now, also going to be talking about tonight's live show is regarding Australia's ASX exchange, essentially Australia's ASX that's set to launch their country's first ever spot Bitcoin ETFs is going to be happening on June 20th now. It's confirmed. And it's from Van Ick. We're going to go through that on tonight's live show as well. We're also going to be talking about Hong Kong authorities on tonight's live show as well, how Hong Kong's authorities are essentially opening their doors to essentially crypto platforms and crypto exchanges and crypto projects and everything to do with the blockchain space. Hong Kong is aiming more now to become a crypto hub. They're sending out a big and bold message to the crypto space. If anybody wants to come and start innovation, Hong Kong is the place to be. We'll go through on their perspective as well. We're also going to be talking about Ethereum ETFs on tonight's live show as well, because we have an update on the Ethereum ETF. We're also going to be going for tonight's live show regarding Ripple's SEC settlement and cut from the $2 billion to around about $102 million. We're also going to be going through regarding the Binance and Luna C situation. Yesterday on this live show, I revealed that Do Kwon has essentially settled. He is going to go inside. Not only that, but Terraform Labs is going to be closing down because they filed for a Chapter 15 bankruptcy and a Chapter 11 bankruptcy essentially. And they're going to be closing down and they're going to be burning off their tokens is what I said. So Lunacy and Luna are going to be burned off from Terraform Labs is what I announced yesterday from themselves. And on tonight's live show, we're telling you that Binance seems to be picking up the slack for Luna C by the looks of it. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show quite an interesting topic regarding El Salvador. El Salvador is doing groundbreaking Bitcoin investments in banks. Bitcoin, banks, and El Salvador is also a news topic we're going to go through on tonight's live show. We're also going to be talking about on tonight's live show regarding the former CTO of Coinbase and his perspectives essentially on AI and blockchain and finance in terms of the crypto space, the finance category, the money category. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding the Turkish retail bank, BBVA, that's rolling out support for crypto transactions. Turkey is number 4 in terms of cryptocurrency volume coming in inside the crypto space. And a bank in Turkey is getting involved inside the crypto sector. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding Ripple's CEO and how he's revealed that a collaboration with 10 governments on CBDCs. And we're also going to be talking about on tonight's live show regarding XRP forecasted to surge 20x to $10 by Frankfurt Stock Exchange. We'll go through that on tonight's live show as well. It's a perspective that's going around right now inside the crypto space. So, on tonight's live show, there's definitely a mixture of topics. There's Ripple news to go through. There's Hong Kong news to go through. There's banks news to go through in regards to El Salvador and regarding the Turkey banks as well getting involved inside the crypto space. Regarding a Deutsches company is the first company we're going to go through on tonight's live show. It's basically the first news we will be going through on tonight's live show. But first we'll do the intro, disclaimer, then comment section, and then the first news, which is Deutsches Telekom company essentially is announcing that they're going into Bitcoin mining. Not only that, but also partnered with a few blockchain companies out there as well. So, welcome to the CMF Live Show. If you're watching this for the first time ever, welcome to the CMF Live Show. On this live show, as always, we go through the most recent news that's happening in terms of the crypto space, in terms of cryptocurrency, CBDCs, AI, politics, and regulations, and everything that essentially plays a vital role for the world shifting into a digital era. And as always, we do Q&As as well on this live show as well. So you ask the questions inside the comment section, and I give you the answers. If you're wondering who am I to be answering people's questions, I have a background in business, finance, tech, law, and cybersecurity. I also own a blockchain startup company. I have many people around me, from executives from exchanges like Binance and the founders of Graph. So a lot of people around me in terms of acquaintances, friends, and so on. And also own a blockchain startup company as well. Welcome to CMF Live. If you're watching it for the first time, and if you're a regular, let's go CMF. And a disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. But before we go through the first news, which is from a Deutsches company, we're going to go inside the comment section first. So let's see where we were. Hi, Miles and CMF. Been a while. One love, Kieran. Kieran, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? It has been a while. Troy, good to see you as well. How you doing? Hi, Miles and family. Let's go. How are you doing, Miles? I'm doing great, Sam. Good to see you as well. Was my best friend's party today. She became a licensed doctor yesterday. Let's go. Congrats on her. Good evening, Miles and CMF. Irving, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Denise, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Queen, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? I gifted her 500 XRP and stored them in a wallet under her name. She has no idea what she just received. That's amazing, honestly, to do that for someone. Good evening, Professor Miles and the rest of the family. Let's go, funky brother. How you doing? Miles, do you think there therefore will be a bull run this year? Yes, the market is definitely brewing for something major. Adi, good to see you on. How you doing? Hi, Miles, and good evening to all the CMF. G, good to see you on. How you doing? How you been? El Salvador has amazing leadership. I definitely agree. Regarding El Salvador, and we're going to go through El Salvador and something major coming out of El Salvador. But yes, they definitely do have an amazing leadership. And when El Salvador's president became into power, a lot of people doubted this man because he came into power and removed half of the politicians. But nobody's doubting him anymore. El Salvador's economy is actually doing a lot more better since they got involved in this whole blockchain sector. Now, the first news we're going to be going from tonight's live show is regarding a Deutsches company. All good, thanks, bro. Hope you and your family are well. Thank you so much, Kieran, for kind words. Hope your family's doing well as well. Happy to be here, Miles. Let's go for the XRP. How you doing? How you been? So, first news on tonight's live show. A Deutsches Telekom company, T-Mobile, announces Bitcoin mining expansions. A Deutsches Telekom, the parent company of T-Mobile, has revealed that it aims to begin Bitcoin mining, expanding on its current crypto-related activities. The telecom's head of Web3 infrastructure announced plans to expand into Bitcoin mining at the BTC Pro conference. This initiative expands on their previous operations, which include running Bitcoin nodes since 2023 and maintaining Bitcoin Lightning Network nodes as well. The reference that they essentially gave out was to digital monetaries and the further endeavor that could incorporate novel techniques to value creation or participation in decentralized finance DeFi ecosystems. The Deutsches Telekom company has also served as a validator on the Polygon blockchain network since June 2023. As one of the 100 validators, the telecom's behemoth offers staking and validation services that support Polygon's proof-of-stake consensus methods. This function not only improves the network security, but also allows the Deutsches Telekom to capitalize on the new revenue sources in the blockchain sector. Moreover, the Deutsche Telekom joined the area of decentralized artificial intelligence by becoming a validator on Fetch's AI blockchain as well back in February. This collaboration intends to use AI-powered autonomous agents to improve services in the industries such as healthcare, automotive, and supply chain management and digital identities. These efforts reflect Deutsche Telekom's strategic moves towards incorporating blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies into the future of businesses' operations to capitalize on their potentials for innovation and revenue growth. So, T-Mobile, essentially their partner, their parent and partner of T-Mobile, is heavily involved inside the blockchain sector. Now, I did review some of this news back in 2023. Now, there are updates on them essentially of how much progress they have made so far regarding being a validator for that long on the Polygon network, backing the Fetch AI projects in terms of AI creations and innovations, and also going essentially into Bitcoin mining right now. They've already been a Bitcoin node operator and also being a part of the Bitcoin Lightning Network nodes, but now they're going to Bitcoin mining. Is this going to help Bitcoin? Yes, it's going to help Bitcoin. Is this going to be good for the entire crypto space? Yes, also, because it brings eyes on the rest of the crypto space as well. Because this company is not only involved with Bitcoin, they're also involved with altcoins. So yes, it helps both. Now, also, more companies will most likely follow their footsteps as they tend to do inside the corporate sector. For example, MicroStrategy was the first company to back their entire company with Bitcoin. And then we had a Japanese company by the name of MetaPlanet come inside and back their company with essentially Bitcoin as well. Their stocks went through the roof. And then we had two Canadian companies come out and follow MicroStrategy's footsteps again. Or, for example, JP Morgan going after a subnet green on AVAX. And then Citibank follows right after. It's just something that happens inside the corporate sector in terms of one company branching out and the rest of the corporate sector goes, hang on a minute, what's going over there? Let us branch out as well. So this is good in terms of for the entire crypto space with the telecom company, essentially the Deutsche Telekom company of T-Mobile parent company doing this. Now, the next news to go from tonight's live show is regarding Tether USDT. Yesterday on this live show, I reviewed some data from a crypto platform essentially that came out with a data that USDT, and also this data was reviewed by Forbes as well, that USDT, in terms of USDT or stablecoins, the majority of transactions on stablecoins is actually the retail section. In terms of corporates, they're not really using stablecoins. Corporates are buying cryptocurrencies and holding them rather than using stablecoins. And it's in general the retail section that's using stablecoins in terms of the volume as well. And also, a while back ago, I reviewed some data from MasterCard and Visa where they did a study test, and because they were fed up about how stablecoins are giving this big praise and how stablecoins are doing so much volume and they're passing transactions on MasterCard. So MasterCard got fed up, did essentially some digging into stablecoins and found out that about only 10% of stablecoin transactions are actually human transactions, and about 90% of stablecoin transactions are just bots. Only 10% was real transactions. That's only because MasterCard got fed up of the news keep on coming out and saying stablecoins are doing heavier transactions and more transactions than MasterCard in terms of volume. And in reality, it's just bots, 90%, 10% is real transactions. Now, those are the news I revealed a while ago, and then the other one I revealed yesterday. Right now, Tether's USDT, so Tether, the CEO of Tether, has came out and said, well, this is, absurd. Everybody uses our stable coin. And he mentioned that how, over 300 million users depend on Tether's USDT. And this is actually coming from the Tether CEO. So Tether's CEO, Paulo Andrew, recently emphasized USDT's significant role in driving demand for the US dollar in emerging markets. Andrew's comments were in response to an article suggesting that the dollar-backed stablecoins contribute to the demand for the US public debts. Andrew revealed that over 300 million people globally use USDT as a digital dollar, offering essential financial services to communities in developing countries. This stablecoin enhances the efficiency of money transfer and storage, bypassing traditional financial systems, and then essentially that often exclude the underbanked people who don't have bank accounts can have access to USDT, for example. USDT is being used by more than 300 people across the world as a digital dollar, providing a lifeline utility to the entire communities in developing countries. These people are underdeserved by the banking industry, mostly remaining unbanked, and subject to high inflation and fast devaluation of their national currencies. Andrew wrote, this means that if Tether were a country, it would rank ahead of nations like this is a bold statement coming out of Tether. But Tether basically came out and said, look, if Tether was a country, we're doing so good that we could probably outrank countries like Indonesia, Pakistan, and Nigeria. The high adoption of USDT significantly impacts the global financial systems. Andrew also noted that Tether is among the top 3 global purchasers of short-term US Treasury bills and ranks within the top 20 overall buyers. This reflects Tether's growing influence in finance and the increasing integration of virtual assets with traditional financial systems. According to Tether's Quarter 1 report, the firm held approximately $90.87 billion in US Treasuries as of March 31st, 2024. By the way, this is self-reported from Tether. Nobody's ever seen their reserves. These holdings include direct and indirect ownership of US Treasuries with indirect exposure to compromising overnight reserve repurchases agreements collateralized by the US Treasuries. The firm also invests directly into US Treasuries through money market funds. So, Tether's CEO is not very happy with what Forbes came out and said yesterday, that stablecoins are not really used by anybody inside the corporate section, and stablecoins are mostly used by the retail section or bots. And Tether's CEO was not happy, and he wanted to make a bold statement that Tether is being used by 300 million people around the world, and Tether is even outranking countries. How could you say this, essentially, to that article that came out yesterday? But it was true. The article that came out yesterday, the corporate section is not really using Tether, to be fairly honest. I have not seen basically a single any sort of major corporation come out and say they've been using USDT. Even the major corporations are using USDC, technically, through Circle. For example, BlackRock started up so one of BlackRock's members became a board member of a project that Circle used to have and still has onboarding. And they were using USDC. And this was during the time when BlackRock didn't have Bitcoin ETFs. So, on that perspective, the article was correct. Tether should maybe relax itself and not be so agitated towards news articles. But yeah, nobody's really using USDT in terms of the corporate sector. Retail sector are obviously using USDT, and bots. The bot part is according to Mastercard's study reports that 90% of USDT transactions essentially are bots. 10% of real people. And they weren't happy about that one either. Evening, Miles of CMF. Jason, good to see you. How you doing? Anna, good to see you. How you doing? Shelly, morning. Good to see you. How you doing? And the next news we're going to go from tonight's live show is regarding Australia. Australia's ASX is set to launch the country's first Bitcoin spot ETF. And Australia did announce it a while back ago, and I reviewed on this live show. But now we actually have a date on when this is going to happen. But before we go through that news, let's go inside the comment section first. Freedom Forever, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening, Freedom Forever. Telecoin and World Mobile Token are involved with crypto decentralized communications, including blockchain. Yes, Leroy, facts. And Jason, good to see you. Anna, good to see you as well. Shelly, good to see you as well. How you doing? Morning. So, Australia's ASX is set to launch the country's first spot Bitcoin ETF. The Australian Securities and Exchange, ASX, will debut its first exchange-traded fund directly, investing in Bitcoin, on June 20th. According to reports, the first Bitcoin ETF to debut on Australia's primary stock market is the Van Eck Bitcoin ETF. This spot ETF allows investors to gain exposure to the Bitcoin through a regulated, transparent, and well-established investment vehicle. Ever since the Gary Gensler-led Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) greenlighted the US's first spot Bitcoin ETF back in January, other regions have scrambled to join the bandwagon as well. The launch of the Van Eck Bitcoin ETF in Australia is anticipated to attract a substantial amount of capital inflows from the country's sizable pension fund market. This is a good market space regarding pension funds, because even in America, we had a massive pension fund come in and essentially invest over $100 million of pension funds into Bitcoin ETFs. So pension funds, even in South Korea, I mean, one of the biggest pension funds around the world is a South Korean pension fund private company. They're investing into Coinbase shares as well, and also into some ETF spaces. But the launch of the Van Eck Bitcoin ETF in Australia is anticipated to attract substantial capital inflows from the country's sizable pension fund market, as investors seek to diversify their portfolios with exposure to digital assets. And in terms of the pension funds coming inside the crypto space, this was also a topic from Nicholas. Nicholas is basically an analyst from JP Morgan. Nicholas did say that more pension funds are going to be coming towards the Bitcoin ETF space as well. So Australia's pension fund could go towards the Bitcoin ETFs, just the way, same as the American pension funds did, and so did the South Korean pension funds. Globally, the listings of Bitcoin ETFs is gaining momentum as jurisdictions like Hong Kong and Australia have shown interest in adapting similar products. Sydney-based BetaShares holding parties and Digital X Ltd are preparing to list on the main Australian board following initial listings on the Cboe Australia. While those early ventures had very success, expectations are growing that the trend will gain traction due to the exchange's higher visibility and the recent surge in Bitcoin's value. Hong Kong also approved their initial batch of their crypto-related ETFs last April, positioning itself as a potential digital asset leader. Now, in terms of Hong Kong didn't get that much amount of volume coming into their Bitcoin ETFs. And a lot of people assumed it's probably because Hong Kong is broke in terms of, oh, they don't trust Bitcoin ETFs. But that in reality is a lie, because in reality, according to the 13F filings that were filed in with the SEC of which company or which corporation holds Bitcoin ETFs, quite a lot of the people that were holding Bitcoin ETFs in terms of companies were actually Hong Kong companies that were holding BlackRock ETFs and Van Eck ETFs and the Fidelity ETFs and so on, Goldman Sachs essentially. Now, Hong Kong also, essentially, regarding their approvers, the approval of the Van Eck Bitcoin ETF aligns with the proposed legislations from Australia's ruling party to regulate crypto custody. Decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, crypto taxations, and licensings of digital asset service providers. This regulatory framework is anticipated to foster a stable and clear environment that concedes to the continued growth of the cryptocurrency market in Australia. Australia tightens their crypto tax compliance measures. In a related news, the Australian Taxation Office, ATO, has initiated a broad effort to enhance tax compliance with the cryptocurrency sector by requesting personal and transaction data from crypto exchanges covering up to 1.2 million user accounts. So if you do live in Australia, and if exchanges want to still operate essentially in Australia, the Australian authorities have asked the crypto exchanges to hand them over Australian citizens in terms of what they've been buying or what they've been selling on those particular exchanges. This move is a part of the ATO's strategy to combat potential tax evasion in the rapidly expanding cryptocurrency market. The ATO aims to identify traders who may have unreported their crypto-related activities, such as converting digital assets into fiat currencies or using them for transactions. According to the ATO's notice, the data sought includes a comprehensive range of personal details from users. This is what the Australian government will have on you if you are buying and selling cryptocurrencies back to back. So if you're holding cryptocurrencies, you're pretty much okay. If you're the type of person that trades on cryptocurrencies in Australia, then they're going to be looked into by the authorities. And this is what's going to be handed over from the crypto exchanges. And by the way, this doesn't just apply to Australia. A lot of countries are going through the same method right now. So according to the ATO's notice, the data sought includes a comprehensive range of personal details from the users, including names, addresses, date of birth, and their phone numbers, and their social media platforms as well. The government is taking no chances, and they want everybody to pay their crypto taxes. The governments are right now looking at your crypto accounts in terms of the exchanges, looking at they know who you are in terms of your full name, they know who you are in terms of your phone number, and your date of birth, and so on, your house address, and your TikTok accounts that you post about cryptocurrencies, or your X accounts, or your Instagram accounts, and so on. The government is looking at all of these and trying to see if you've ever slipped up and posted your profits. If you're the type of person that goes around and posts your profits on social media and you're not paying crypto taxes, well, you're a very easy victim for the government in terms of taxing. But you shouldn't in general miss on taxes, but at that point, you're just self-snitching. Sometimes it's better to be humble than to show your gains online. Otherwise, you're going to be coughing up quite a lot of tax money. According to the ATO's notice, the data sought includes essentially their comprehensive situations, and to mitigate the financial risks and shield from gambling related issues, the Australian government has implemented a probation on the use of credit cards and cryptocurrencies for online betting. This measure, effective as of June 11th, seeks to prevent individuals from gambling with borrowed funds or using digital currencies, thus promoting a responsible gambling practice nationwide. At the time of writing, Bitcoin is essentially exchanging hands over $66,000 and representing a 4.6% decline in the weekly time frame according to CoinGecko data. So, what's happening in Australia does not only, it doesn't only relate to Australia. The UK is going through the same steps, and so is essentially the EU, so is Canada, so is Hong Kong, and so is Japan, and so is India. And in general, the G20 countries all signed the same declaration back in essentially the G20 summit in New Delhi. So every single one of them is going to be set under the same regulations. So what's happening in Australia is going to happen in the rest of the G20 countries. And if you live in a G20 country, whatever happens in Australia is also happening in your jurisdictions sooner or later. So if you are the type of person that trades and wants to show their profits off online on social media, then the government knows that you're doing trades and the government knows that you have profits, because at that point you're just self-snitching. Cryptocurrency statements from Hong Kong authorities is what we're going to go next on this live show. But before we do that, let's go to the comment section first. Gino, it's good to see you. How you doing? Hello, Miles and CMF. Let's go. How you doing? Is it true that the SEC are now asking for $102 million? Up to a certain extent, yes. We're going to go through that news as well towards the end of the live show. We're going $102 million. They are really clamping down on the gambling here in Australia. Yeah, they are. I'll be honest. The news that I keep on seeing out of Australia, they are definitely clamping down. Facts. Jim, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? When will we see real evidence of the bull season? It's brewing. And you can see it in terms of the corporate section coming in step by step. That's how you know the market is going to be picking up, because the corporate section is showing more interest than you could believe. The corporate section is showing a lot more interest in terms of the paperwork that's coming out. They're coming in step by step. You just don't see it because the inflows and outflows are relatively matching. Now, cryptocurrencies statement from Hong Kong authorities. Paul Hu, the director of the Hong Kong Financial Services and Treasury Bureau, highlighted Hong Kong's unique position at a conversation titled Hong Kong Opportunities that was held as a summit. Hong Kong is the only city with both the global and Chinese advantages, is what was said by Hu, who is the Hong Kong Financial Services and Treasury Bureau. Hu said in his statement that Hong Kong, a city with both global and Chinese advantages, strategically focuses on many areas such as environmental finance, family offices, and crypto assets. So Hong Kong has basically came out and said the main ventures we're shifting towards right now is our focus is on environmental finance, family offices that have quite a lot of money, and crypto assets. These are the only three topics that Hong Kong is right now focusing on. This strategy aims to help investors around the world understand Hong Kong's key areas of developments. Hong Kong plays a massive role as a global uncertainty grows. According to Hong Kong's Treasury Secretary Paul Chen, the city's strategic focus on green finance, family offices, and crypto assets as a part of its efforts to attract overseas investments. When asked how Hong Kong should attract overseas investments, Hu said, "We need to combine an effective government with an efficient market. On this basis, we need to strategically ensure that investors from around the world know which areas Hong Kong should focus on and where the opportunities are. We need to focus on certain areas, and certain areas are crypto assets Hong Kong is focusing on, family offices, and green finance." This strategic focus is essentially expected to position Hong Kong as a leading hub for green finance, family offices, and virtual assets, providing opportunities for global investors, according to officials. Hong Kong really does want to become a crypto hub. As bad as even though they had the Bitcoin ETFs and there wasn't much momentum because the majority of Hong Kong companies are inside of the American Bitcoin ETFs. That's why there wasn't much momentum in Hong Kong, because this data is actually there. There are actual evidence from the 13F filings from the SEC that we can see that there are Hong Kong firms in Bitcoin ETFs in the United States, and that's why the Bitcoin ETFs in Hong Kong didn't have momentum. But Hong Kong is definitely doing the innovation work, in terms of, for example, their Ethereum ETF. Hong Kong is about to be offering something that no other Ethereum ETF is going to be offering, which is staking. The United States, the SEC is not very fond of the idea of Ethereum and staking when it comes to ETFs. However, Hong Kong is going to be offering Ethereum ETF staking as well, which is something that pretty much no Ethereum ETF is offering out there. So they are definitely, leading the way in terms of innovation, trying to get more people involved, which is great to see. There are a lot of Chinese companies that don't have access to some sort of cryptocurrencies, assets, and so on, which they can get access through Hong Kong. So if Hong Kong keep on opening their doors, being a bit more lenient in terms of regulations, that is good to see. Traditionally, the money usually comes out of BTC to alts to start the alt season, right? Will that play out the same this bull run? No. Okay. Great question. I'll give you the answer on why that won't play out the same. So Shelly has just asked the question. By the way, the next news we're going to go through, ironically, on this live show is regarding Ethereum ETFs. I actually have a genuine update on the date of Ethereum ETFs approval, actual approval for their S1 filings. From perspective from Bloomberg, Eric, which has been correct so far in the market space. But before we go through that news, let me just give you the answer to Shelly's question, which is a question that a lot of people are still wondering. And Shelley's question was, traditionally, the money usually comes out of BTC to alts to start the alt season, right? Will that play out the same this bull run? No. The reason why the market is not going to be playing out the same, previously we didn't have Bitcoin ETFs. And because we didn't have Bitcoin ETFs, we had Bitcoin itself, which means people would buy Bitcoin on, for example, Binance Exchange. And then later on, when it's going to become alt season, that person would sell his Bitcoin on Binance Exchange and, go for the alt season. However, because we have Bitcoin ETFs, they have changed pretty much everything. The idea that somebody's going to go and sell their Bitcoin ETFs to jump inside the crypto sector to buy essentially altcoins is a big no. No corporates are right now going to be selling any of their positions in terms of Bitcoin ETFs to jump into the alt seasons. And the retail section, as you might, the news has been telling you, it's the retail section inside the, Bitcoin ETFs that's pushing the Bitcoin ETFs up. That was all BS from the news. Because as we all know, everybody's entitled to an opinion, but opinions are not correct and facts are facts. According to the essentially 13F filings on the SEC, 937 corporations are in Bitcoin ETFs. That was the reason why Bitcoin was pushed to new heights, because the 937 corporations, one of those corporations was holding about 2 billion just in BTC ETFs. But just putting that to one side, because of the Bitcoin ETF space, the idea that the market will play out the same in terms of traditionally, it won't play out the same, because traditionally we didn't have Bitcoin ETFs. We had somebody holding Bitcoin, a lot of Bitcoin, and that person would sell some of their Bitcoin on Binance Exchange and go into the alt season. But because now we have ETFs and they are, blasting in terms of prices. I mean, BlackRock is doing milestones pretty much every time I hear about it in terms of their Bitcoin ETFs, and so is Fidelity and so on. So because they're going for Bitcoin ETFs, they're not going to be selling their Bitcoin ETFs to jump inside the alt season, unless they're holding Bitcoin to jump inside the alt season. But traditional patterns are not going to be playing out. So far, traditional patterns haven't played out. And that's because of the Bitcoin ETFs, is because of so many corporations inside the crypto space, because of regulations, and essentially because of the rest of the ETF market space coming in and so on. So markets aren't playing out the same. I said this back in 2023, going into 2024. Michael Saylor said the exact words that I just said after me. Ironically, so did Grayscale. And even today, there was an article that came out, and I think I've got it on my notes to go through on tonight's live show as well, regarding how the markets are not going to be playing out as they should be, typically. Because the idea of comparing historic patterns is if the market plays out the same path. If the market is not playing out the same pattern, it's because this pattern that we're in right now has never happened. In the past, we never had the ETFs. We never had BlackRock. We never had Fidelity. We never had Goldman Sachs. We never had even JP Morgan. Even though JP Morgan says they're against Bitcoin, they're actually holding Bitcoin ETFs according to the 13F filings, or their clients are, but they're still holding Bitcoin ETFs. So we never had all of that in the past. So we can't compare historic patterns. That's why the market did new heights and so on, and now there's so much manipulation. But also with all the executives and directors inside the crypto space, there's going to be more money spinning around this crypto space as well. But in terms of the market playing out the same patterns, it won't do the same patterns because of the Bitcoin ETFs. They've disrupted the patterns. People aren't selling. In terms of corporates either, they're not selling their Bitcoin ETFs to go for the old season, because that means they have to jump out of ETFs, which is a safe asset class for the corporates, to jump into an old season, which makes no sense for them. Now you can say, well, the retail section can sell their Bitcoin ETFs. They can, but even those makes no sense either. In terms of only if they're holding Bitcoin, it makes sense. If you hold Bitcoin and Binance Exchange, you sell the Bitcoin and go into old season. It makes sense. But why would you sell a Bitcoin ETF? That's what's disrupting the pattern. Now, in terms of the corporates, of why would they sell Bitcoin ETFs? In terms of corporates, to go into old season and go inside the crypto space. So you're most likely wondering what's going to be next if the historic patterns aren't going to be playing out. Well, utility is going to be playing out. You see, a lot of crypto projects are going to pick up momentum, but based on their utility. Because as you've realized by now, the corporate sector, in terms of even telecommunication companies, which is the first news I went from tonight's live show, in terms of T-Mobile's parent company, for example, coming in with AI projects inside the blockchain sector, some altcoin projects and so on. But that's basically what's going to be happening. The corporate sector is coming in, and they're not only going for Bitcoin ETFs, they're going for utility. They're building on networks. But that's what's going to pick up in terms of the old season, utility. And meme coins will still be there as well, because the retail section loves the idea of meme coins. So they'll still be there because the retail section, not because the corporate section. And some hedge funds actually do manipulate the meme coin sector as well. But in terms of how the markets will play out, it's basically utility is going to play out. Because that is the only reason corporates will come inside the old season, for utility. Remember, corporates come and they buy a crypto project to hold for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and to build upon. Don't ever mistake, not you, Shelley, but in general, don't ever mistake the corporate section's thought pattern to be the same as the retail section. The retail section will buy a crypto project for 6 months and then sell it. The corporate section will buy a crypto project for 5 years and hold it for 5 years. Or 10 years. Or 20 years. They're coming in for, long investments. They're not coming in for 6 months. And that's why it's disrupting the patterns. That's why so far it's disrupted all patterns. Because they're holding. That's why we never had that drastic drop. A lot of people thinking we're going to have inside the crypto. Some people say Bitcoin's going to go to $20,000. This is the end game. We're going to go to $20,000 Bitcoins. That never happened. You know why? Because they're holding. The corporates are holding heavily. And not only that, but when the market dips, they're buying. Now, you might not see the numbers shoot up because they're essentially the inflows and outflows are generally matching. Now, you can see that also by how BlackRock's doing new milestones, Fidelity's doing new milestones. In terms of Grayscale still being the manipulator on Bitcoin ETFs, because Grayscale still does outflows while BlackRock does inflows, and essentially sometimes matches their inflows and outflows, or sometimes a little bit more. But they are really coming together, So that's how it's going to play out. Utility is going to be playing out. If all the money is in BTC, all the money is not in BTC. And what will flick the switch to start the pump for the old stand? Utility. If all the money is in BTC, well, the money is not all in BTC, but it seems like it. Even retailers know the value of BTC in future. Who owns BTC will probably hold. I feel like that could be a little while away, though. Utility, I mean, no. Utility is not that way, essentially that far away in terms of utility. We're not that far away. There's a lot of corporates coming in and they're going for utility. They're building it towards utility. I mean, yesterday we just had Swift partnering up with a crypto platform, essentially BVKN, to do stablecoin transactions. We have banks in Germany who are coming in and partnering with Bitpanda to go into utility. And ironically, Bitpanda's partner is also Ripple. And a lot of people said, well, that makes no sense, that has no relevance. So what? Bitpanda's partner is Ripple, and German banks are partnered with Bitpanda. Well, if you think about it, German banks could have partnered with Coinbase, which is a bigger exchange than Bitpanda. German banks could have partnered with Crypto.com, which is a bigger exchange than Bitpanda, but they partnered with Bitpanda. Everything happens inside the corporate sector because it's coordinated to happen. So those German banks, for example, going with Bitpanda, that's in terms of utility. There's a lot of things happening in terms of utility that I reveal to you every single night in terms of what's happening in terms of utility. There's a lot of things happening. And let's not forget all of those contracts that happened back in 2023, that happened back in 2022 or 2021 and so on, are going to get slowly implemented because it's 1 or 2 years of testing and research and so on until implementation. Sometimes it's about 3 years, 4 years, depending on what they're trying to build. But we're not that far off. There's actually a lot of things happening in terms of utility testings, utility research, and utility implementation. Depends on when that contract was started. For some, it's a while ago those contracts were started, and for others, it's essentially new contracts that are being implemented. But let's not forget, also before a contract happens, typically inside the corporate sector, before a contract happens, beforehand, there's a lot of testings, a lot of researchings, and then you get to the contract signings. So they do most of their testings and researchings beforehand, before signing the contracts. So afterwards, it's a little bit more testing, but onto developments and implementation. So we're not that far off in terms of utility at all. XRP, apologies about that. XRP seems to follow the positivity of Ethereum in the last 24 hours as Bitcoin is dropping. Yes, slightly is dropping. Yes, true. High prices. Very, very true. It seems that we might have to wait till next year before we are in proper bull run. No, we're going to have some movements. Look, everybody assumes this year is done for. This year is not done for whatsoever. You're giving up on this year too quick because there's a lot of things happening this year. In terms of the cases, let's not just forget the Do Kwon case just came to an end. That's going to be quite positive for the corporate sector to come in even more because the corporate sector wanted the Do Kwon and Terraform Labs case to be done with, for him to be out of the picture. The same way the corporate sector wanted CZ out of the picture before they jumped in. Let's not forget when CZ was arrested, essentially, taken into court and so on, Ripple's CEOs were celebrating, so was Coinbase's CEO, and a lot of other corporate CEOs were celebrating that CZ is going to be behind bars and going to be paying a fine and going to be replaced. So sometimes a lot of things need to happen inside the corporate sector for them to be even more happier to step in even more. The Do Kwon case that just recently got settled, that's a positive sign for the corporate sector because now Do Kwon, he's out of the picture as well. Because he was a big player as well of manipulation for them. So this year is not done for in any sort of a way. We still have multiple cases. We have the Coinbase case, which the resolution is going to be, absolutely positive. We still obviously have the Ripple case, which according to Brad themselves is going to be this year. We still have Ripple stablecoin, which is again a positive scene. We still have the regulations coming in from the MICA from Europe, which again is going to cause a positive scene for essentially more corporates coming inside the sector. They hold all the money. So we have multiple cases still ongoing, which are going to come to going to be resolved this year. We have multiple cases in terms of the Binance case, in terms of the Kraken case, in terms of the Ripple case, in terms of the Coinbase case, which is all going to cause positive sentiments. We have the regulations coming in from the EU and multiple other jurisdictions around the world, which again will cause a positive sentiment for the corporates to come inside the crypto sector. And we have more ETFs on the way from different jurisdictions around the world. We have more banks inside the corporate sector than ever in 2024. We have so much happening. This year is not done in any sort of a way. You need to not give up on this year whatsoever. This is the year the world starts shifting into a digital era. Let's not forget also MicroStrategy. Michael Saylor said that if you're in 2024, you will go down in the history books, is what Michael Saylor's words were. Grayscale was on the same pretty much line of a lot of things that are going to be happening this year, which they are. We have more banks inside the crypto sector than ever this year. We have more corporates inside the crypto sector than ever this year. We have more ETFs inside the world, more ETFs in different jurisdictions this year. We also have the multiple cases going on and regulations coming this year as well, and CBDC releases this year as well. A lot of things are still in progress. We're only halfway through the year and you think this year is done? There are so much things happening this year. I get what you mean, but you also say that it takes a while to convert from contract to start. That's what I meant. Yes, in terms of contract to start, well, that's why they do a lot of testing before contracts. In terms of Ripple's contracts, they've been going on for 4 years. Yes, Miles. And also, not all of them are going to be turning their switches all at once. The ideology that everything will get flipped over all at once is wrong. It's step by step. So you would have one jurisdiction turning on, doing some movements, and it's not everybody's on crypto, but 100,000 people will be on, essentially using CBDCs, for example, so on, and crypto regulation and so on, and then it will just spread jurisdiction to jurisdiction. But the ideology of someone pressing a button, the whole world goes digital, is wrong. It's jurisdiction by jurisdiction by jurisdiction by jurisdiction that's going to happen, which will cause momentum inside the market space in terms of utility projects. So keep that in mind as well. Yes, Miles, when does these partnerships take place? Then we wait to have, before we see the results. Hello again, everyone. Thompson, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? There is so much going in the crypto markets. I noticed the overall market is in the correction phase. The election is also the election, I forgot, and the rate cuts as well. There's so much happening this year. The election is going to have such an impact as well. You cannot expect any major shift until then. Also true as well. And what is happening with the XRP? Are they required to pay $100 million, or is it still pending with the SEC decision? We're going to go through that topic on tonight's live show as well. What up, Miles and family? Hope all is well. Ray, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Miles, is it very hard to tell people that crypto right now, because the market is going sideways for a long time? Miles, it is very hard to tell people about crypto right now because the market has been going sideways for a very long time. This is the best time to talk about the market space. Everybody wants to be inside the crypto space when the market is in the green. You should be inside the market space when the market's in red. It's the best time to be inside the crypto space. People, when they see the market down or in red or bearish mode, they get a bit upset. Some people get frustrated. Some people think it's never going to happen. Some people think, well, we're still very far away. But all of that is just emotions, which is something you should keep out of the market space. I've always said to people, never involve emotions in any sort of market space. So if you're getting frustrated, don't. For you being inside the crypto space, there's a reason you're inside the crypto space. And I'm guessing the reason you're inside the crypto space is because you're seeing those partnerships, you're seeing the contracts, you're seeing these developments happen, you're seeing the regulations happen. You got things down on your calendar in terms of the elections coming up, in terms of the cases going on, and so on and so on. There's so much happening. But don't keep your emotion. Get rid of your emotions is the best thing inside the crypto sector. Instead of any sort of market space, keep your emotions out. And this is the best time to be inside the crypto space. So if people don't want to talk about the crypto space because the market is bearish, those people shouldn't be inside the crypto space in the first place. It's the best time to talk about the market space when it is bearish. It's not bearish, but it's just manipulated right now. Also, the prices are very nice. George, hi Miles and CMF, good to see you. How you doing? Hilarious. I just bought some Lunacy primarily because of SEC's decision to make Do Kwon and his associates step down and then pay $204 million fine. Lunacy is pivoting towards a more community base, which is true. Lunacy is, and also Do Kwon is going to be burning his Luna and Lunacy tokens as well. So Do Kwon, Terraform Labs is going to be burning their own tokens. What happens if I don't send my fetch tokens to Binance? If you don't send your fetch tokens to Binance, so if you do have fetch tokens or Ocean Protocol or SingularityNet and you want to get this new token coming out, the Super Intelligence token, Binance is offering a service where you can keep it on their exchange and then Binance will make the switch for you to the new token. Now, if you don't want to keep it on Binance, then I would suggest go to SingularityNet or Fetch AI or Ocean Protocol or the new page for this token and see where else you can hold, on what exchange or what wallet you can hold it for the merge to happen for you as well, is what I would say. But as far as I know, because Binance revealed the news, you can hold that token on Binance and Binance will make the merge for you instead, which makes life 10 times easier, to be fairly honest. But yeah, go to their social pages and see what they're essentially saying, if in terms of the other alternatives to Binance. If you want free XRP, direct message me. I'll send you their social pages, their official social pages, so you can go towards them. Now, Ethereum ETFs. We actually have a timeline now on Ethereum ETFs. Now, this perspective is coming from Bloomberg's perspectives. Essentially, Bloomberg analyst Eric, who is essentially an ETF expert analyst. And Eric has been right so far. To be fair, Eric has never been wrong at all, to pretty much. I mean, he's probably been in his lifetime, but in terms of what he said so far, he's been correct. Eric was the first one that said the Bitcoin ETFs will happen at this particular date, and it happened when everybody else doubted it. Eric was the first one to say that Ethereum ETFs will happen at this particular date, and it essentially did happen in terms of getting approved. Now, Eric, the Bloomberg specialist, ETF analyst specialist, is coming out again and saying that from his inside chatter, is what he normally says, it's going to be around July 2nd. Bloomberg analyst Eric expects spot Ether ETF exchange traded funds ETFs to begin trading in US in July. Eric updated his forecast for the official launch of the spot Ether ETFs, moving over and under date to July 2nd. The crypto expert noted that the US Securities and Exchange Commission SEC staff had sent comments on the S1 filings to issuers, describing them as pretty light without major issues, which is a good sign to see. He mentioned that the SEC has asked for responses within a week, suggesting a decent chance that the ETFs could be declared effective the following week, potentially before the holiday weekend. Eric emphasized that while anything is possible, there is their best estimate at that moment in time. At this moment in time, July 2nd is their best estimate. On June 13th, the SEC Chairman Gary Gensler provided some clarity on Ethereum ETFs during his testimony towards Senator Bill Hagrid. Gensler indicated that he expects the S1 filings for the spot Ethereum ETFs to be approved by the end of summer. This statement has reinforced the belief that while there may be some delays, approval will likely happen within the next few months. Eric also mentioned that the issuers of the spot Ethereum ETFs were waiting for feedback from the SEC's decision of Corporation Finance, CorpFin, on their S1 filings, which they had submitted 2 weeks earlier. He explained that this delay was attributed to the CorpFin reviewing these documents for the first time, highlighting that this unexpected situation stemmed from a likely last-minute political shift within the SEC, which surprised CorpFin as well. Eric further emphasized that there is an uncertainty about how quickly CorpFin could prioritize and process the filings. However, some observers believe Ethereum ETFs may not attract as many attention as Bitcoin ETFs because they do not offer staking capabilities. SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce, known for her liberal stance on cryptocurrencies and nicknamed the Crypto Mum, has expressed skepticism regarding the SEC's treatment of Ethereum. Peirce has highlighted that historically the SEC has categorized Ethereum as a security, unlike Bitcoin, which is classified as a commodity. The SEC has maintained that Ether is a security, which introduces a distinct set of challenges compared to the approval process for Bitcoin ETFs, Peirce remarked. So, a lot of things are happening. As I was about to say, a lot of things are going to be happening the end of summer. Shelley took the words right out of my mouth, which is sounds like there's a lot happening before the end of summer. Yes, facts. Shelley, absolute facts. There is a lot of things happening by the end of summer, which in terms of the Ripple case as well, which is a humongous case. Yeah, SEC approvals could be July 2nd or could be towards the end of the summer. July 2nd is a perspective coming out from Eric, who's been quite right on the market space, but he can obviously change it last minute as well. But yes, Shelley, facts, there was a lot of things happening towards the end of this summer, major things happening towards the end of the summer, to be fairly honest. Now, regarding also before we go to the next news, which is regarding the Ripple's SEC settlement, let's go to the comment section first. If you hold it on any exchange, they will do it for you. Chosen, they should do, yes, but the exchanges themselves have to announce it regarding the superintelligence AI merger. They should be able to do it on any sort of exchange, to be fairly honest. But just in case you do hold your token and nothing happens is the issue. I give an example. JP, the only reason I'm sharing this information regarding JP is because JP has shared this information before also inside the comment section of this live show. So a member of the CMF had Gala tokens, for example. He had Gala tokens when Gala was doing, their upgrade to Gala 2. version 2. And this member of the CMF was not holding his Gala tokens where he should have. And when the merge happened, essentially for the upgraded version of Gala, he was still holding his original Gala. After a little bit of time passes, he realized he's holding the original Gala, and it basically has no value. So, yes, that would be me. JP's inside the comment section. Yes, that would be me. Yeah, so the idea that if you hold it anywhere, the merge will happen for you no matter what is wrong. It could happen. You could probably hold on Coinbase and it'll happen, crypto.com and it'll happen, and so on and so on. But, and JP still has the tokens, as you can see inside the comment section. The first comment, he says, yes, that would be me, and I still have them low. So, learn from other people's mistakes is what I always say. A wise person would learn from other people's mistakes. A moron would have to go through the mistake to realize it was a mistake. So learn from JP's mistakes and make sure whatever exchange you're holding it on actually is going to do the merger for you, and not when the merger happens and you're still holding the old tokens. Me too, JP. Me too. So Ray is also in the same boat as well. I forgot to mention, but the best cold storage wallet to store your lunacy is on Tangent. Let's go, Thompson. But yeah, this is what I said, Chosen. Make sure, I personally think as well, every exchange will probably, do the merger for you. But just make sure, double check to see the exchange you're holding on actually is going to do the merger for you, and you don't get stuck with your old tokens. Because JP still has his version 1 galas, which he can't do anything with. If you're not going to put them on an exchange, sell them and buy back is not financial advice, but I learned by mistake. Yep, I hold Gala from 2 years ago. You mean my Gala is worthless? Chozo, did you ever upgrade your Gala to version 2? Chozo, the Gala that you're holding, is it version 2 or version 1? That's what depends on if you have value. Marius, good to see you. How you doing? Evening. Chozo, is that a no to Gala 2? I may not be the only one, lol. Hold on. Ooh. Chozo? I don't know. I brought it 2 years ago and I'm up to 100%. Okay. Are you up on CMC? Is that where you're saying you're 200% up? Is it because you're watching on CMC? Or, on the wallet that you're holding, it says it's 200% up? If you're watching on CMC and it says 200% up, it's because CMC assumes you have Gala version 2. If you're watching it from the wallet itself and it says 200% up, that means the merge already happened for you. Nope, it's on Binance. Okay, so you're okay. Chosen. Binance already did the merger for you. Okay, so JP seems like you're the only one with Ray. Chosen. Binance already did the merger for you. Don't worry. Chosen, if you held your Gala 2 years ago, from 2 years ago, on Binance, you're okay. Binance did the merger for you. So you don't have to worry. I bought Gala a couple of months ago and stored it on my cold storage wallet. Let's go, Thomas. For a second there, I thought, oh no, but we're good. I'm up to, but it's worthless. It's worthless. Stressless. Stressless. My Gala is front uphold. Your Gala's on uphold? Uphold most likely did the merger as well. Thank you. No problem, Joseph. Anytime. I met JP. You're no longer at a Gala. You're at a small town pig roast. Is what Happy Pisces said. It seems like it, almost. Now, the next news to go through on tonight's live show is regarding Ripple's news. So we went through, the ETF news, and we went through the ETF news, we went through the Hong Kong news, and so on, and now we're going to go to the Ripple news. I don't move my Gala from Binance because of the fees. It was $50 on fees, so I decided to keep it on Binance. Well, you keeping it on Binance was a good idea because they did the merger for you. So I still have Happy Pisces comment in my head. Is it still good? Yeah, don't worry about it. At least I can laugh about it. At least I can laugh about it. Let's go, JP. That's the best thing to have, humor. Gala, yeah. I mean, if you really want to go for Gala, it's not really a project that I would say I would be going deeply for, especially now times, but why not if you want to? Now, Ripple's SEC. So, the SEC, Miles, do you know if Coinbase will do the merger for Fetch AI? Coinbase hasn't, as far as I'm aware, maybe they have, but Coinbase, as far as I'm aware, I haven't received, sorry about that, my AirPods. Coinbase so far hasn't sent out an email to me, for example, to tell me that they're doing the merger. Binance sent out a notification to say that they're doing the merger regarding the ASI token, regarding Fetch AI Singularity Ocean Protocol coming together as one token for a super intelligence token. Binance gave the notification. Coinbase, as far as I'm aware, hasn't given the notification, but I presume Coinbase is going to do it as well. But double check just in case. Double check, Funky Brother. So Coinbase will do the merger of Fetch AI. Yeah, double check just in case. How you can check is easiest way, we just contact customer support or go to their pages regarding the super intelligence token. Go to their social page on X and see if they do it, because they're probably listed where you can do the merger from. Ripple's SEC, and I'll send you the link if you want, of the X account. So Ripple has been going back and forward right now with the SEC, ongoing case, but Ripple filed in a new document that stated, for example, Terraform Labs, 15th of July. Yeah, it's what has been pushed to. Actually, it's been pushed to 20th, I think, I'm not mistaken. So they changed it again. I think it's 15th or 20th. I revealed the news. I think you got 5 episodes back on this live show. You could see me talking about the date of it, which got extended. But the Ripple news. Ripple basically has been going back and forward with the SEC. So Ripple recently filed in a new document to the courts that said Terraform Labs, that recently settled with the SEC, Terraform Labs did commit fraud and therefore, that's not good. My MacBook was about to turn off. The battery sign came on. So Terraform Labs basically did commit fraud and they had to pay a massive fine, is what Ripple's lawyers said. So Ripple's lawyers sent in essentially, XRP please bro, XRP please. Ripple's lawyer essentially sent in, well, it's news you have to know about. Are you signing in terms of, why share XRP news? Well, because it's knowledge. When people say, XRP news why or Ripple news why, you're rejecting knowledge. So what if you don't care about that crypto project? Knowledge is powerful still to have. And for you to, go against the particular crypto projects, you're involving emotions, which is the last thing you should do. For example, when I tell people, have you seen the video of Brad, Ripple Labs CEO talking about their partnerships and contracts? They go, oh no, why should I watch a video about Ripple's CEO? But knowledge is powerful and you're involving emotions. Never involve emotions inside of any market space. Bro, imagine buying Ripple and missing the entire cycle again. Well, imagine that XRP is not the only currency that you have in your portfolio. You got to apply common sense to your comments as well. Come on. But you're essentially involving emotions. For me, I don't care. Knowledge is powerful. If Cornaldo's, for example, CEO, Cornaldo's CEO is doing a podcast or an interview, I would watch it. Even though I don't hold that much amount of Cardano and I'm holding a lot more other crypto assets, but I'll still watch it because it's good for knowledge. If essentially Ripple's CEO is doing an interview, I'll watch it. If Michael Saylor is doing an interview, I'll watch it. If I'm not, even though I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, I'll still watch an interview that Michael Saylor does because he's an incredible intelligent person. I'm not going to involve emotions into it. But people who say, oh, how could you, Ripple news or Ripple video or this and that, you're involving emotions, something you should never do inside the crypto space or inside of any sort of market space. Knowledge is powerful. Don't involve emotions. As I said, I don't hold that much amount of Cardano, but I still would watch a video with their CEO because it's knowledge. Why would I involve emotions? Oh no, it's Cardano, I don't care. A moron would say that. Knowledge is powerful. I don't hold that much Cardano. And I might assume it won't go too far, but I'll still watch a video with their CEO. He might say something interesting. He might say something that I should know about that could happen later on potentially. It's knowledge. How can you reject it? Don't involve emotions. Like we said the other day, knowledge is power. Exactly. Very soon, Brad will be popular as Elon Musk among the masses. I agree, basis. But yeah, don't ever involve emotions. The worst thing you could do to yourself. You're depriving yourself of knowledge because of your emotions. That makes you a very bad trader in any market space. Don't deprive yourself of knowledge because of your emotions. So, going back to the Ripple case. The Ripple case, which has been going on for a while. Ripple's CEO essentially sent out, Ripple's lawyers sent out a filing and said that Terraform Labs that recently did a settlement with the SEC, they did commit fraud. And then the SEC responded with their response, which we're about to go through. So regarding that matter, Ripple's SEC settlement cut from $2 billion to $102 million. Is this correct? In a significant update from the financial regulatory landscape, the US Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has agreed to drastically reduce its settlement claims against Ripple, marking a pivotal moment in the company's ongoing legal challenges. Originally facing a daunting $2 billion penalty, Ripple Labs now has to pay only $102.6 million, apparently. Legal dynamics on comparisons. This decision essentially follows Ripple's strategic legal push, where the company referenced to the Terraform Labs settlement that happened as a benchmark to argue for a more reasonable penalty. Despite Ripple's efforts to align its case with its presidents with penalties ranged from a 0.6% to 1.8% of the defendant's revenues, the SEC highlighted several disparities. Ripple's proposal of a $10 million settlement notably contrasted with Terraform's situation, where the latter's bankruptcy and agreement to comprehensive relief measures, including the dissolution of remaining tokens, played a key role in their reduced fine. SEC stance and Ripple's response. Moreover, the SEC criticized Ripple's comparisons as a flawed, emphasizing the unique conditions of the Terraform settlement, which involved the company ceasing operations and undertaking significant remedial actions. Unlike Terraform's, Ripple has not consented to any similar relief measures, a stance that has eventually influenced the SEC settlement approach. The revised penalty of $102.6 million, while essentially substantially lowering their initial proposed, remains a firm stance by the SEC to deter from future violations. The legal battle has been a central narrative since December 2020, when the SEC first alleged of Ripple's XRP tokens that constituted as unregistered securities. Despite a 2023 court decision favoring Ripple by declaring XRP not a programmatic essentially sales, the broader lawsuit persists with a trial date still on the horizons. The resolution of this case could set a significant precedent for the treatment of digital assets under US security laws. It definitely will be, yes. Regarding the Ripple case, it's not just good for Ripple Labs or XRP. Obviously, it's very good for XRP and Ripple Labs because the chains can come off. But it's also good for the entire crypto space because then other crypto cases can use the Ripple case as a reference going forward if they ever do get sued. Or that will put more pressure on the SEC to actually do their job for once and come up with regulations, which is what they should be doing since the day crypto came into the picture. The SEC should have came out with regulations, but they didn't. Instead, it's sue on site is what they're really doing. The SEC should be paying Ripple for wasting time. Ripple's already spent $200 million, which is essentially accurate, let's say. XRP and XLM and XDC forever. Hopefully, if they can burn Lunacy to $1 per token, then I will use these profits as a seed to purchase XDC, XLM, and XLM and XDC, XRP. Thompson, let's go. Oh, in terms of also anybody's going for, because Luna and Lunacy are becoming a community project right now, so it could be also a good space for the meme coin category as well. So if you're inside, the meme coin space and you want to go for that sort of category, Luna could be a target for the meme coin category as well right now, because Terraform Labs is completely dropping all links to Luna and Lunacy, and it's going to become a complete community project only. And community projects tend to shift towards meme coins rather than utility, to be fairly honest. So, also, Terraform Labs is going to be burning all of their Luna and Lunacy tokens. They're not going to be selling or dumping on the market. Terraform Labs is going to be burning all of their Luna and Lunacy tokens, which I don't know how much they're holding roughly, but could help on the price point later on, essentially. And to add on top of that, regarding who's going to be, helping out Lunacy and Luna, is it just going to be community or so on? No, it's also going to be Binance. Binance today came out and essentially said that they're going to be expanding on Luna and Lunacy, essentially. Because Terraform Labs is out of the picture, Binance is going to be expanding into that category now. Long memes. So, on that topic, breaking news. Binance expands support for Lunacy and USTC revival to $1. Binance apparently wants to revive the Terraform Labs stablecoin to $1 and also revive Lunacy again, now that Terraform Labs is out of the picture completely and burning their tokens. The crypto exchange Binance, the crypto exchange Binance TH, a joint venture between Binance and the Gulf Energy, on Saturday announced a revival and promotes Lunacy and USTC tradings on crypto exchanges. Terra Classic ecosystem tokens were listed by Binance TH this week, receiving massive attention from Terra Classic community. Binance TH announces Lunacy from collapse to restoration. In a post on X social media platform, Binance TH introduces Lunacy from collapse to restoration. Event to the crypto community. Binance TH by Gulf Binance. Looking for people who have experienced the Terra Luna crisis and still believe in Lunacy revival, is the speech Binance is giving right now. Binance TH by Gulf Binance will conduct those who suffered the most from Lunacy to invite them to join the discussion and share their experiences through Binance TH live with us. By those selected will receive Binance TH swag and special prizes, said the crypto exchange. Former Binance CEO CZ started supporting the Terra Classic revival after the community developers took governance into their hands. Binance has burned 60.42 billion Lunacy tokens in the burn campaign to remove tokens from supply. Lunacy developer groups, validators, and the community are actively supporting the Lunacy revival to $1. And the USDC repegged to $1 as well. Meanwhile, developers are looking Terra Luna Classic proposals to implement tax to gas and remove the need for separating handling and calculation of tax. Tax to gas will incorporate tax into the gas and decrease the complexities of DApp developers as per proposals from the Genuine Labs. So, Binance is coming in to save the day for Luna and Lunacy, and they're going to be doing everything they can within their power to, one, repeg their stablecoin from Terraform Labs to $1 again, is what Binance is hoping to do, and also back Lunacy now that Terraform Labs is out of the picture completely and burning their tokens. So is that going to help Terraform Labs do quite well? I mean, is that going to help Lunacy do quite well and their stablecoin going back to $1? It's possible. Binance has a lot of money to play around with, incredible amount of wallets to play around with. So, they can do it if they wanted to. Is it going to be overnight? No. It's going to be over a little bit period of time. But still good that you have somebody like Binance behind them, even though CZ is not there to support it, because CZ was the one that supported the whole Luna C situation. But Binance is still carrying on CZ's torch, you can say. What JP said is true. SEC should reimburse Ripple that $200 million. Facts. I know, but I will shoot my shot with Luna C and Shiba, then Dogecoins. Why not, Thompson? If you want to, if you are the type of person and you want to risk a few $100 on meme coins, at the end of the day, it is your own money, and you're entitled to essentially do any movements you want inside the crypto space. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I wish everybody the best inside the crypto space. Even if you're all in meme coins, I hope everybody does incredibly well. Luna C to $1. Let's go. I mean, I've previously said as well that there are only 3 meme coins that I could see surviving everything. And I've said this previously, who these 3 meme coins, these 3 projects are. The number one project that I see from the meme coin category surviving pretty much everything thrown at it is Dogecoin. Dogecoin, in my opinion, will survive because of Elon Musk. I've always said this. I've always said Shiba Inu was an absolute miracle. The way Shiba Inu happened, it was a miracle. It started something that never started inside the crypto space. The reason why we have all of these, meme coins inside the crypto sector, you could say it's probably because of Doge, but in reality, it's because of Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is like Lil Wayne. Honestly, Shiba Inu is like Lil Wayne, where you had Lil Wayne and then you had 20 other people pretending to be Lil Wayne with Lil Baby, Lil this, Lil that, Lil this, Lil that. It's basically what it is. Shiba Inu was the one that started this whole meme trend back then, and it's still going on. So, I've always said Doge, because of Elon Musk backing it, it will survive pretty much everything thrown at it. Shiba Inu was an absolute miracle, but still standing. And also Luna C, because of Binance and CZ, is what I've always said. Everything else is up for opinion. But those 3 essentially is what I've always said. I said Shiba Inu is always a miracle, Doge is because of Elon Musk, and Luna has always been because of Binance and CZ. So, Miles, how was your day? How are your parents? How was your business? Scott, my business is very well. Thank you so much for asking. My family's doing also very well as well. Thanks so much for asking, Scott. How's your family doing, Scott? How you been? Oh my God, that would absolutely be a complete dream if Luna C becomes $1. Luna Classic and Luna 2 both could potentially do well then. Yes, they could, as they're burning essentially their tokens. Yes. XRP, XLM, XDC, and ACH. Yes. Let's go, Scott. You can't go wrong with that category. Thompson, let's go. Miles is the best. Listen to him pure. Brooke, how you doing? How you been? Change your name. Facts. Let's go, Ray. Hi. Let's go, Ray. Facts. Could Shiba Inu ever get to $1? The token supply is ridiculous. No. With that token supply, I mean, for Shiba Inu to get to $1, that would be a miracle. This is why I've categorized it like this. Doge is where it is, Elon Musk. Shiba Inu is a miracle. Luna is because of Binance and CZ. How you been, Brooke? How's things? Changed my name. Great seeing you as always. Let's go. But yeah, those are the categories I would stay with. Good to see you as well. So, now here's some major news. Genuinely major news coming out of El Salvador. I doubt that Shiba will get to 1%. No, I mean, that's why I call Shiba Inu a miracle. If it ever gets to $1, it's an absolute miracle. Nobody can doubt it. It will be a miracle if Shiba Inu, with that token supply, ever makes it to $1. Now, El Salvador. El Salvador proposes a groundbreaking Bitcoin investment bank. It is genuinely breaking news coming out of El Salvador right now. El Salvador's president, Nabib, has unveiled a visionary proposal to establish a private investment bank that will offer financial services in both Bitcoin and US dollars. This bold move, if approved, aims to provide investors with diversified financing options and fewer restrictions compared to traditional banking institutions. They're coming out with basically a digital bank, is essentially that does services for Bitcoin and US dollars, financial services. It's a Bitcoin bank, is what they're trying to introduce. A new era of Bitcoin banking in El Salvador. Under the proposal, the Bank for Private Investments, BPI, will revolutionize the financial landscape of El Salvador by allowing transactions and operations in Bitcoin alongside the US dollar. Announced by Salvadorian ambassador to the United States, the plan highlights the government's commitment to integrating cryptocurrencies into the nation's economy. This initiative aligns with the president's broader economic strategy, which seeks to attract global investors and foster economic growth through innovative financial solutions. The legislative push and economic forecast. Senior Bitcoin advisor to Bokri, Max Keiser, emphasized the transformative potential of this legislation, noting the optimistic economic forecast by ARK Invest CEO Kathy Woods. Woods has predicted that El Salvador's real GDP could increase tenfold over the next 5 years, a prospect that seems more attainable with the introduction of their new banking scheme, now BPI, their private bank. Key features of the bank for private investments. These are the key features that El Salvador is going to be offering, not just to El Salvadorans, but to everybody essentially. Flexible financial operations. Unlike traditional banks, the BPI bank will not be bound by stringent laws that restrict engagements with overseas banks or finance companies. Essentially linked to their shareholders, this flexibility is expected to attract a wide range of investors. Elimination of loan restrictions. The proposed bank will not be subject to probation of granting credit or assuming risk beyond 25% of their asset funds in retaliation to a single entity. This change essentially aims to encourage more dynamic and expensive investment practices, which means this will be the first bank ever that won't look at your credit score. If you go to a bank and try to get a loan, the bank would say, well, let's look at your credit score. This is how much we can approve you based on the money that you have in your bank that you can use as collateral, and this is your credit score. This is what the loan is that we can offer you. But because this is a Bitcoin bank, they don't care about your credit score. Capital requirements, essentially, to ensure stability of credibility, BPI's must be established with a minimum share capital of $50 million and at least 2 shareholders who can foreign nationals. Potential impact on El Salvador's economy. The introduction of BPIs is anticipated to have a significant impact on El Salvador's economy. By offering investment options in both Bitcoin and the US dollar, these banks are expected to attract a diverse group of investors, thereby boosting the economic activity and fostering innovation. Moreover, this move could position El Salvador as a global leader in the integration of cryptocurrencies into national financial systems. This will be essentially the first bank to officially integrate sooner than other banks around the world. Despite the ambitious proposal, the legislation has yet to receive an approval. As of now, El Salvador's Technology, Tourism and Investment Commissions, under the direction of the Minister of Economy, Maria, has not put the reform to a vote or called for a constitution with officials to discuss the project's objectives. The next steps will involve rigorous debate and scrutiny by lawmakers to determine the feasibility and potential benefits of this new proposed bank. Hence, President Buckle's proposal for the Bank for Private Investments represents a significant shift towards embracing cryptocurrencies as a mainstream financial tool. If successful, this initiative could not only transform El Salvador's banking sector, but also set a precedent for other nations considering similar integrations of digital currencies. As the world watches closely, the outcome of this legislative proposal will be a critical indicator for the future trajectory of cryptocurrencies in global finance. By creating a financial system that integrates Bitcoin, El Salvador is poised to become a pioneer in digital currency adoptions. This move is expected to drive economic growth, attract foreign investments, and position the nation as a leader in the global cryptocurrency landscape. That is major news genuinely coming out of El Salvador right now. Major news. coming out of El Salvador. This will definitely send a precedent move. And by the way, they're not only going for Bitcoin, they're starting out with Bitcoin, but then going towards, in general, cryptocurrencies. They're starting out with Bitcoin alongside US dollars and then branching out, which is definitely going to be setting a precedent move. Once this is approved and it's a green lighted, essentially, other countries will pay attention to El Salvador's movements with this new banking system they've set up. And when things go well, which they will go well, unless somebody manipulates El Salvador's economy, let's just say, if the manipulation factor doesn't play into their economy and it goes well, then other banks will follow in suit of what El Salvador has just put forward. As I said previously, MicroStrategy was, because this is what happens inside the corporate sector. MicroStrategy, first company to back their entire company with Bitcoin. Then we had the Japanese company MetaPlanet back their entire company with Bitcoin. Then we had two Canadian governments, two Canadian companies also backing their entire company with Bitcoin, which all their stocks went through the roof. Or, for example, JP Morgan going for AVAX on a subnet green, Citibank going for an AVAX on a subnet green as well. Corporates tend to follow each other's footsteps because, one, they don't want to be left out of innovation, and two, they like the idea of making more money. So once they see one thing working out for another corporate or another bank, they'll go, okay, it's worked out for them. We can use their footsteps as a blueprint to move forward. But that would also have to play out in terms of legislations, in terms of the regulations in their own jurisdictions, which is on the way as well. The EU's regulations, I mean, the MICA pretty much end of this month is going to start getting implemented. By the end of the year or beginning of next year, we're fully implemented in terms of the EU regulations. Now, which again, honestly, massive news, which is positive not just for Bitcoin, but the entire crypto space. Now, Balji Shervinson, who is the former CTO of Coinbase, has given his prediction, or essentially has given his perspective. So this man is the former CTO of Coinbase, and he has given his perspective on AI and finance. Is the next news we're going to go from tonight's live show. But before we do that, let's go to the comment section. I doubt that's here. Why is ISOB doing coins like XDC is not listed on crypto.com or CB tells me that it's being suppressed and kept away from retail? It is. The reason why XDC, by the way, is an amazing project. XDC has a lot of capabilities, a lot of contracts going on, especially in Japan. R3 Corridor is integrated within 47 banks in Japan. So R3 Corridor has a lot of things going for itself. Even in Singapore, through XDC, has a lot of things happening in terms of that aspect. Now, XDC is a crypto project that is genuinely not for the retail section. XDC is genuinely made for the corporate section. So that is why XDC is pretty much not listed on major exchanges out there up to a certain extent. But yeah, it is definitely being heavily suppressed. I mean, they have deepening contracts out there through R3 Corridor. So, I mean, their future is extremely bright. XDC's future, according to the PDF documentations, is incredibly bright. But yeah, they're being heavily suppressed, and yeah, they're genuinely a corporate token. There's nothing about XDC that screams retail section at all. Which, if it's for the corporate section, it means more money than you can ever dream of, pretty much. Now, Benjamin, I don't even have one coin. I cannot get it in Canada anymore, XDC. Yes, happy Pisces. I haven't forgotten. I need to send you also the step-by-step as well. I need to send Lena the step-by-step, and also I need to send Happy Pisces the step-by-step as well for XDC. Happy Pisces, I haven't forgotten whatsoever. I will send them to you after this live show. Apologies about that. I'll try to get to you after this live show. By tomorrow morning, you will have them. I remember you messaged me, and I remember I told you as well. Sorry. It's been very busy these past days, but it's still on the back of my head. Now, Belgi Shervinson. Your thoughts on XAH, Miles? XDCs for governance? Yeah, I agree. Your thoughts on XAH, Miles? Regarding XAH, good. It's on XLM, if I'm not mistaken. It's on the XLM chain, if I'm not mistaken. XAH. It's on XLM. Is this Stronghold? Is that the one? That's a good project as well. I will never sell my XDC. Let's go, Thompson. Neither will I. I'll only use it as essentially to borrow against, to use it as collateral. Oh, okay. Okay, Miles. Thanks. No rush. Let's go, versus XDC is for the East. Seems like it. Awfully colder is more implemented in Asian countries than it is in the West. But the Asian countries do quite have a lot of wealth as well. China has a lot of wealth to its name. So does Russia. So does the Middle Eastern countries as well. It'll work out quite well for XDC. Australia, Japan as well. So Miles, whenever Ripple pay $180 million, the case will close. Pretty much, if they do pay the fines, yes, the case will close. In terms of also one party or the other party trying to appeal something, there's no point. I don't think the SEC will appeal it, and I don't think Ripple will appeal anything either. I think they'll just let a case closed once that payment goes through. Well, what about XDC, XLM, and ACH? Why the price not moving? SEC is not from them. Yes, okay. Regarding XDC, it's not being suppressed. It's not being suppressed by an SEC case. But why is the price of XDC or XLM or ACH down? Well, because ACH, XLM, and XDC are playing crucial roles. And when you're playing a crucial role inside the crypto sector, trying to change the financial space, as I said before, you need to be 1,000,000% sure before getting implemented. If you're a random crypto project, if you are a random crypto project, and you're building an application, for example, and people download the application on iOS and Android and they use it, there's a few bugs, no big issue. You might lose a few downloads, people might uninstall, but they'll come back after the bugs and updates are done. But again, what XRP is trying to achieve, what XLM is trying to achieve, and what XDC is trying to achieve, and ACH is trying to achieve, is change the financial backbones. So they need to be 1,000,000,000% sure, because if things don't go too well in XDC, XRP, XLM, XDC, ACH get implemented inside the financial sector, and they have bugs, then we're talking about banks not working properly, essentially. We're talking about banks not working properly. We're talking about the financial system is not working for 5 hours, 6 hours. That could cause massive havoc. So they're in the same boat of change the financial backbone. Zaza. That's what you meant by XAH. Apologies, I don't know why I feel stronghold for a second. If you want to go for Zaza, it's not something I would go for, to be fairly honest. But what about, so that's what's regarding them, those three projects. They're all in the same boat as XRP. They're trying to change the financial backbone. They need to be 1,000,000% sure before they go forward. They're not building an app. They're not building an AI tool, for example, that if it has a few bugs, it's not a big issue. If ChatGPT goes down today, for example, let's just say ChatGPT is an AI blockchain project, and it goes down for 5 hours. It's not really a big issue. Nobody's going to start protesting. But if, XRP, XLM, XDC, and ACH get implemented inside the financial sector, and the banks don't operate for 5 hours because XLM, XRP, XDC, and ACH can't communicate with each other in terms of blockchains, and nobody can do any transactions for 5 hours, people can't pay their rents or mortgages or loans off, and can't get petrol or food, that would cause protesting. So they're all in the same boat in terms of the financial sector, which means they have to be 1,000,000% sure before they get implemented. It's not a random crypto project building an app. If the app goes south, so what? They'll lose a few downloads. But what the financial sector in the crypto space are trying to achieve, XRP, XLM, XDC, and XLM, and ACH, if things go south, the banks don't work for 5 hours. If there is a bug, that will cause protesting and havoc and so on. So they need to be 1,000,000% sure, and they're all in the same boat. So timing. Now, in terms of Zaza as well, it's not something I would go for. If I had a chance of going for Zaza or XRP, I'm going for XRP. Fairly honest. Has a better future ahead of itself. Now, Balji Shirvanson says money after AI is crypto. This is a perspective coming in from essentially from Coinbase's former CTO. A well-known investor and a former CTO of Coinbase has made a daring statement. Money after AI is implemented is crypto. In a recent social media post, Shirvanson detailed why he believes cryptocurrencies will be the primary form of a payment in a society dominated by generative AI and robotics. Money after AI is crypto. What is money after generative AI and robotics? This is essentially crypto. Money itself becomes cryptocurrencies just as much as intelligence becomes electricity. In addition, he proposed a paradigm shift in how we perceive and use money in the technological, essentially evolved worlds. Shervinson contended to that cryptocurrencies will essentially be critical in the future, where AI and robotics and generative abundance due to its intrinsic scarcity. He said cryptocurrencies is what's probably scarce in the age of AI abundance. This scarcity will be critical in distinguishing human activities from those of artificial intelligence, particularly since AI tools can easily mimic human acts. Furthermore, Stevenson emphasizes the economic interactions between people and robotics. Furthermore, Stevenson emphasizes that while AI and robotics may eliminate many forms of scarcity, some will continue, he noted. A robot owned by another economic actor will still need money to rent. In this scenario, bitcoins might be used as a medium of exchange to unlock and those robots. He explains that supply chains for manufacturing robots and the energy required to power the AI data centers will remain scarce, guaranteeing that money remains relevant. The control over those advanced machines will be based on secure digital keys. The most important form of scarcity in the AI age are the private keys to control the robots. This is coming from a former CTO member of Coinbase, a former CTO. So he's saying the control over these advanced machines will be based on a secure digital keys. The most important form of scarcity in the AI age are the private keys to control the robots, Shervinson stated. The Coinbase alum said that Web3 technologies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum provide the security required to handle these keys effectively. He remarked, as AI is a digital abundance, but it doesn't make everything abundant. Crypto is a digital scarcity and it complements AI abundance. So money after AI is crypto. Shervinson contends that while AI creates digital abundance, cryptocurrencies provide the digital scarcity needed to maintain economic balance. So, what he has basically described is iRobot. The former CTO of Coinbase basically did an interview and said that, with the world shifting over into AI, and AI in terms of, the payments need to be happening in a digital world, we can't be using cash with AI robots. So, in his perspective, cryptocurrencies is, going to be a key component in an AI world, especially with robotics. And he said there's going to be companies manufacturing robots and so on in terms of AI, and people are going to use cryptocurrencies to rent out the robots and for different purposes, for example, is what he's talking about. And he said we can't do that, essentially, that lifestyle with cash. Now, you might be thinking, well, that does sound like a bit like iRobot, what he's just basically described. But also thinking about one important factor, which is since 2011 until now, since 2011 until now, Google or Alphabet has been buying, or the Android department has been buying every robotic company since 2012, small, medium, or large. Google has invested money into small, medium, or large robotic companies since 2011 for their Android department, so that Android could be featured into a robot with now AI capabilities. And as I said previously, inside the corporate sector, everything is coordinated. So with Google since 2011 going into the robotics field in their Android department and basically buying out small, medium, and large robotic companies, whatever they get their hands on a good price to buy out the entire company, they're definitely aiming for something. So in terms of, they're aiming for tomorrow, let's say, not as in literally tomorrow, but never think about today, think about tomorrow in that sense, future-wise. So that's an important key factor to note. But also, regarding what the Coinbase CTO said regarding the robotics companies and renting them out with cryptocurrencies and so on, I could see that playing out. Also, during the knowing the fact that Google has been buying back to back, essentially, robotics companies since 2011 for their Android department. But I can see that playing out. Also, the next news we're going to talk about on tonight's live show is the Turkish retail bank. El Salvador's bank is not the only one that we're going to be talking about on tonight's live show that we already did. A Turkish retail bank is also what we're going to talk about on tonight's live show because they're getting involved in cryptocurrencies. And Turkey is the fourth biggest in terms of cryptocurrency transactions, in terms of volume. Miles, do we have any more bullish news tonight as I have to be up early for Eid? Thank you, brother. Yes, this one, which is the Turkish news. I'm going to tell you right now. If you haven't mentioned LAT, you haven't mentioned LAT for ages. It's gone down in your estimates. No, I'll still say LAT is still a great project. Now, Turkish retail banks. Turkish retail bank BBVA rolls out support for crypto transactions. Guarantee BBVA Digital Assets, a subsidiary of the Guarantee BBVA Financial Technologies, has unveiled a cryptocurrency wallet service on its mobile platform, marking a significant development in Turkey's banking sector. Guarantee BBVA crypto integration coherently BBVA has also extended its services to allow its customers to engage in the trade of BTC, Ethereum, USDC coin, and some other cryptocurrencies through their BBVA crypto app. Starting as a beta service with restricted number of users, the service becomes available to all its customers after a successful trial period. Currently, the bank plans to expand its crypto services and improve the quality of its services delivery in the markets. The successful launch of crypto services by Guarantee BBVA shows that there is a positive trend among banks to offer digital assets while maintaining strict compliance measures. So El Salvador is not the only bank trying to get involved. Also, German banks are involved as well. Austrian banks are involved as well. But now Turkey's bank is also getting involved inside the crypto space as well, which is quite a major news in terms of Turkey's volume transactions being fourth ranking in the entire world. And as I said previously, we have more banks inside the crypto sector than ever before, more corporates, more ETFs, more of everything from the corporate sector than ever before inside the crypto sector in 2024. Now, the next news to go from tonight's live show is regarding Ripple. Ripple's CEO reveals collaboration with 10 governments on CBDCs. Brad, CEO of Ripple XRP, has announced a major collaboration with 10 different governments to develop their central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. While the details remain largely confidential, these partnerships aim to integrate Ripple's blockchain technology to enhance the efficiency and security of the financial systems globally. Ripple partners with governments on CBDCs. Ripple's involvement with various governments marks a pivotal advancement in adapting the blockchain technology for national digital currencies. According to Brad, these governmental CBDCs will function similarly to stablecoins, designed to maintain a steady value against traditional currencies. Although not all collaborations are public, and this is what I meant regarding, a lot of things sometimes aren't in the public eye as well inside the corporate sector. Some are on PDF documents, which most people don't look at, and some aren't even on documents that it could be in the public eye. They're on private documents. So this is what I was talking about and what's been mentioned here. Although not all the collaborations are public of Ripple's contracts in terms of their CBDCs, this initiative suggests a significant shift towards digitalization inside the financial sector. Driven by the need for more secure and efficient transactions mechanisms, Ripple is expected to streamline operations and bolster these countries' financial transparencies and cross-border transactions efficiencies. Moreover, Ripple is gearing up to introduce its stablecoin, the real USD, unveiled at the recent XRP Ledger Community Summit in Amsterdam. This new stablecoin aims to stabilize their transactions within Ripple's ledger by linking directly to the US dollar. RLUSD will be available on the XRP Ledger and Ethereum, allowing for broader utilizations across the different blockchain platforms. This launch is expected to enhance Ripple's market positions by attracting a broader audience, ranging from the blockchain enthusiasts to professionals in the financial sector seeking dependable digital transactions and options. This move aligns also with Ripple's broader aim to innovate within its networks and extend its influence on the utility across the broader expansions of the blockchain ecosystem. And despite these positive strides, Ripple still faces ongoing challenges regarding the SEC scenario, which is genuinely going to come to an end this year. also come to brand themselves. But yeah, there are some news going around in terms of Ripple CEO also revealing a collaboration between 10 governments on CBDCs. And also, the biggest green light for Ripple and XRP or CBDCs is they're the only ones doing CBDCs, as I said previously. There's a lot of people inside the crypto sector doing AI. There's massive, there's a lot of projects doing AI, projects doing gaming, projects doing Web3, projects doing data, but there's only one project doing CBDCs. So basically, Ripple has zero competition when it comes to CBDCs. And according to the Bank of International Settlements, yesterday they are revealed 98% of centralized banks, or 94% or 98% of centralized banks, according to the Bank of International Settlements, banks of all central banks and G20 countries, are in wholesale CBDCs. And out of 24,000 crypto projects, only one has a CBDC platform. And one is only working with the Bank of International Settlements, interesting enough, on cross-border payments. So, that's also good news to you regarding collaborations that some have been mentioned. Hey Miles, what do you think about TON? Do you see it possibly flipping Solana or Base? Yes. I've said this previously and I'll say it again. TON, T-O-N, and not Tron, TON, T-O-N, is a blockchain that a lot of people aren't looking into. Okay? I've said this before. Ethereum was the original OG for meme coins, and then it became essentially Solana, and then AVAX tried to take over, but it really didn't work for them for the meme coin category. And then Base is now, getting that momentum. TON is definitely, a project that needs to be looked into. TON partnered with Telegram. Originally was a Telegram project, but they dropped it because the SEC decided to go after them. So they dropped it, and some, normal developers picked up the program, and later on they partnered with Telegram, which is their own project. Telegram has 900 million users plus. Telegram is going to become an everything app, just like X is. And Telegram is only using one payment tool, TON. And they're building everything on TON with 900 million users, and it's going to become an everything app. TON has a massive future ahead of itself because Telegram already has 900 million users. Telegram is going to be paying people in TON as wages because they're going to do, content creation on Telegram as well now. It's becoming an everything app. So TON has an amazing future ahead of itself, and a lot of people aren't looking into it. TON is faster, cheaper, and doesn't go on, essentially downtime like Solana does. I use Solana. Everyone's used Solana inside the crypto sector. Sometimes trying to do a payment on Solana, it's like Mission Impossible. You press the button for the payment to go through, and it doesn't. You press the button again, it doesn't. You press the button again, it doesn't. And then you get a message from the exchange saying essentially there's so much congestion happening on Solana, please try again later or something like that. So you wait for a little bit and then you press the button and you're hoping the transaction to go through, and about 20 minutes later it arrives. Or sometimes, in Solana's case, 11 times Solana has went the network just for 11 times. 11 times. The last time was 5 hours. The network didn't work. None of that has ever happened to TON. And TON has a bigger factor going for it as well. 900 million users. And they don't have downtime. And they're built by Telegram originally. So TON has massive positive things for it. Massive. I talked about TON when it first launched. And look at where it's sitting now. Top 10 is where it's sitting at right now. And the more Telegram leans towards, this idea of everything app, and TON being the only project they use, TON's going to have a great future. Can TON reach $100? Possible. Overnight? Hell no. Over time? Yes. Now, here's some news regarding XRP. Forecasted to surge 20x to $10. This is coming from a perspective from Frankfurt Stock Exchange. The Frankfurt Stock Exchange, the Germany Stock Exchange essentially. XRP forecasted to surge 20x to $10 by Frankfurt Stock Exchange. During an interview, the correspondents noted a significant contrast in the charts of Ethereum, Solana compared to XRP. While Ethereum and Solana essentially showed upward trends of XRP's chart displayed declining candles, Michael from Frankfurt Stock Exchange Michael clarified that the XRP chart was viewed on a monthly scale spanning from 2014 to June 2024. He acknowledged that XRP had shown minimal movement over the past year, trading between 50 cents and 52 cents. XRP's growth potential, according to Frankfurt Stock Exchange analysis. Oliver Michael, CEO of Tokenist Investments AG from Frankfurt, he's the CEO of a company, highlighted XRP's historical performance during a recent interview at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. He pointed out that from 2014 to early 2017, XRP formed essentially a wedge pattern that resulted in an initial breakout, leading to a remarkable 4,300% increase. Starting as low as below a cent in January 2017, XRP surged to around 25 cents by December of that year, making a 44-fold. Recent chart analysis at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange in Germany suggests that XRP could potentially surge by over 2,000% this year to reach to essentially reach $10. Oliver Michaels, CEO of Tokenist Investments AG, conducted this analysis during an interview with the Der Reporter. The focus was essentially on XRP expected performance in 2024 and the reason for investor optimism. Michael further noted that after moving sideways briefly, XRP completed its breakout rally, reaching an all-time high of $3.84. He estimated that XRP's trajectory from its lowest price before its alternate represented an astonishing 39,700% increase. The CEO attributed to widespread optimism in XRP to its historical performance. With the community hoping for similar impressive growth aimed at its current underperformance, Michael highlighted the formation of a bullish wedge pattern over the years, suggesting that a pressure is mounting for an anticipated upward breakout. Everyone is anticipating an upward breakout soon, he remarked. Ironically, Ripple's CEO, essentially Brad, yesterday said that the case will end sooner than most people think. Oliver Michaels, CEO of Tokenist Investments AG, expressed optimism about XRP's potential for significant price growth during a discussion at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. He mentioned that while a repeat of a 40-fold increase seen in previous years isn't necessary, he would be content with a 20-fold gain, aiming for XRP to reach price levels of $8, $9, or $10 this year. That would be quite nice. It's something to hope and wait for. And that's what I'm doing, Michael remarked. In a previous analysis, he confidently suggested that XRP has the potential to become a world reserve currency. This is coming from a perspective of Oliver Michael, who is a CEO of Tokenist AG company in Frankfurt. And the interview that he was doing was at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. And he was giving his perspectives on that. From his analysis is what he can see essentially in that interview from Frankfurt Stock Exchange interview, that XRP is going to a price of towards 8, 9, and 10 this year. And that he said a lot of a wedge momentum is essentially built up on XRP. Also, it's because he anticipates a breakout, a upward breakout, essentially. An upward breakout is on the way, which could align with what Ripple's CEO said, which was things will come to an end sooner than you think regarding the Ripple case. So that's Michael's perspective, CEO of Tokenist AG, an interview he did in the Frankfurt Stock Exchange on his perspective on XRP's trajectory. 8, 9, or $10. Ken, for this year, is what his perspective is. Canton Rich, thank you, Adrian, no problem anytime. Been waiting for a pullback, but it's not happening. Should we wait, like you said, to be before, or I would say these times dollar cost average definitely. Hi Abram, how you doing, Abram? And the lag on comments from YouTube seems to have doubled today. It's taking forever. Double, but this news is extremely, bullish in a sense of a perspective coming from a CEO. It's a good sense. Also, where the interview was conducted, it wasn't a random podcast. It was at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, which they don't do random interviews at that place. So, good perspective also. Now, we have also reached the endings of this live show as well. And Shelly, regarding a pullback, just dollar cost average into it at this moment in time. Definitely dollar cost average into it. Whenever you're unsure about how the market will move forward, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, which is essentially DCA, dollar cost average. But XRPs, if you're going for XRP in a sense, its price points are normally, 36 pence. I'm saying to you in British pounds, not in dollars. 36 pence, normally it moves to about 49.50 and it comes back down to 36. It's just moving in this pattern. If you go for XRP, the chance of it going below 36 pence is quite slim. It can do, but it normally touches 36 pence and just jumps back up. Good night, Miles, and all the CMF. Thank you for all the great news, and as always, great live. Let's go, JP. JP, see you tomorrow, but at the same time as usual as well. And also, all the topics that we talked about tonight's live show. We talked about the Frankfurt interview, the Stock Exchange Frankfurt interview. We talked about Ripple's CEO and how he's revealed essentially 10 collaborations with CBDCs. We talked about a Turkish bank launching in terms of cryptocurrencies. We talked about the former CTO of Coinbase giving his perspectives on the future of AI and finance. We talked about El Salvador's groundbreaking move in terms of a Bitcoin bank. We talked about Binance helping to expand the support for Luna C and USDC's revival, their stablecoin, to $1. We talked about Ripple's SEC settlement cut from 2 billion to 102 million. Is that true or not? We talked about it. We talked about Ethereum ETFs that could go live in July 2nd, according to Eric Bloomberg ETF specialist analyst. We also talked about cryptocurrency statements from Hong Kong's authorities on this live show and how Hong Kong is opening up their doors even more towards the crypto space. We talked about Australia's ASX is going to be launching confirmed June 20th in terms of a Bitcoin ETF. We talked about over 300 million users are in USDT according to the Tether CEO, and Deutsche Telekom communication company going into Bitcoin mining is what we talked about on this live show as well. So, funky brother, see you tomorrow sometimes usual as well. Good night, Miles, and good night, Army. Let's go. Good night, mate. Butch, see you tomorrow, brother, same time as usual. What's your thoughts on $8 to $10? Possible. Highly possible. It's basically also what I said as well. I said it's going to go to 5, 6, 7, and then drop a bit because everyone will sell and then shoot back up, stabilize, shoot back up, stabilize, shoot back up, and stabilize. Remember to promote our family group on X and YouTube? Yes, definitely. If you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and retweet this live show if you're watching us on X. This is episode, by the way, episode 87. I've been doing this live show back to back every single night on X, if you're watching us on X, and on YouTube at the exact same time. This is episode 88. 88 days back to back. I've been doing this live show every single day, bringing you the most recent news in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, regulations, and updating you how the world is shifting into a digital era. So definitely, if you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and retweet this live show if you're watching us, and also drop a comment as well on YouTube or on X. If you enjoyed this live show, talking about TON, a pullback on TON. The market might dip a little bit. Let me see what TON's price points can be. I'll message you, Shelly. I just shared it on X. Let's go, Scott. I'll message you, Shelly, regarding the price points on TON. Good night, everyone. Thanks, Miles, and see you tomorrow. Orphan, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. Thanks, Miles, for all that you do for our family group daily. Let's go, Scott. See you tomorrow sometime as usual. Once again, Miles, thanks for your time. Always informative. You're a blessing to us. FleXRP, thanks so much for the kind words, and see you tomorrow sometime as usual as well. Thanks to your parents for producing such an honorable person. Scott, thanks so much for the kind words. See you tomorrow sometime as usual as well. Adi, see you tomorrow sometime as usual as well. Where can I buy TON XDC? Where can I buy TON and XDC? Butch, regarding TON, TON any exchange, pretty much. Binance sells TON, MEXC sells TON. A lot of exchanges sell TON, except Crypto.com and Coinbase. But Binance and everywhere else, Butch, they sell TON. XDC, MEXC sells it as well. Thanks, Miles. Shelly, no problem. Butch, if you get stuck, just direct message me and I'll help you out and send you where you can buy it from. If you want, just send me a direct message, Butch, and I'll send you what exchanges you can get it from. I don't do dollar cost averaging. I just buy for a good about every time I have a chance. That's why when the market bleeds, I'm on hold. Good move, which I know things will get better moving forward. Facts, they definitely will. Thanks for another brilliant live stream, Miles. Let's go, Thompson. Thompson, thanks for the kind words as well. See you tomorrow, sometimes usual. So we have reached the endings of this live show. If you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single night on X if you watch us on X, and on YouTube if you watch us on YouTube. And yeah, we've reached the endings of this live show. So, and we also have a Telegram group as well. Everything I provide, by the way, is completely free of source. Everything I do is completely free. I don't provide anything paid or anything like that. Everything I do is completely free of source. I believe education needs to be free, so that's why. So, join our Telegram group as well. This live show has a Telegram as well, which you can join, and everyone's absolutely amazing. They're all inside the comment section. The link is on YouTube if you watch us on YouTube, or on X if you watch us on X. The link is on X as well. I will see everybody tomorrow. Same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you're around the world. CMF, see you all tomorrow. Same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you're around the world. I have ton on crypto.com. Yes. Butch, crypto.com sells ton as well. Uphold as well. Daniel, thank you so much for that. Uphold as well. XDC, XOP, and XLR. Yep. Let's go, Thompson. Happy Pisces. See you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Good night, Miles and family. See you tomorrow. Troy, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you're around the world. CMF, see you tomorrow, same time as usual.